EFC has seen some of the most prolific wars on the continent. Big matchups, big fights, big finishes. The entire EFC roster has been grown from the roots upwards. This is the African promotion. This is the best promotion on the continent. It's a promotion that's been able to build some of the greatest athletes to come out of Africa that are now even showcasing their talents on the world stage. On the 8th of May, the MMA world is going to wake up to how incredible African MMA talent is. This is the countdown to EFC 85, brought to you by Restonic.
I grew up in Mitchell's Plain, Rockland's Mitchell's Plain. They call it the hell. Okay, here's some of the rules that I grew up with. You don't stay outside. Once the light poles go on, you're in the house. If people are fighting on the field, you come in the house. You don't look by the windows. When people shoot, you lay flat. Everybody knew that those were the rules of safety. It's crazy because it starts to become part of your personality. So you start to live based off of the fact that you're not safe to walk around at night. What that does is it causes you to have an aggressive response to any conflict. So the name Troublemaker, I still remember the day my principal called me that. A friend of mine had got into it with two other guys, and it was him fighting by himself. I had a cast on because I'd fractured my wrist. So I came into the fight to help my friend. I was fighting with one arm behind my back. They pulled me into the office. When the principal saw my face, he immediately thought it was me. So he said, I can't keep dealing with this. You're such a troublemaker. Why are you always in here making trouble? It sort of became this thing. Whenever I did something, it'd be like troublemaker, troublemaker, troublemaker. And then the teachers started catching on with him. And I remember the disappointment in their faces. I remember them looking at me as if I was a good for nothing. And I thought to myself, you know what? One day, when you look at my face, when you hear my name,
Faiez, the Troublemaker Jacobs!
Troublemaker is not going to mean what it meant to you now. Troublemaker is going to mean a poster on the wall. I joined MMA. I trained for a couple months. Things were a little tough, so I couldn't afford training. So I was the kid that had a boxing bag in the yard, and I'd eat the bag every single day. People would walk past and, what's wrong with this kid? Always being afraid of conflict, always being afraid of a fight. Feeling like I could not defend my family and I needed to. Then doing so. And once I finally did so, it was the greatest feeling of freedom to know that I could depend on myself. I was able to defend myself. I was able to fight my way through. And I found power within myself that I didn't know was there.
And here we go, kicking things off with our first bout of the night, the bantamweight division, and it is Faeez, the Troublemaker Jacobs. And just a few weeks ago, he was driving Uber, and here he is fighting right here in the Grand Arena. And for Faeez Jacobs, he is going to have to bring it all here in the Extreme Fighting Championships, because Dirk, there are no easy fights here in the EFC.
Jesse Fleming, I came into that fight. I hadn't even lost a round at that point in my career. It was so surreal that I didn't really get to feel much. I didn't even feel nervous. And at that point, I was on top of the world. He shot for the legs. I ended up sweeping him. I ended up in the top position, and then I just ground and pounded to the finish. But I still felt like I was hungry, and it wasn't enough. I just needed more.
Oh, and the crowd already making a lot of noise for this man, one of Cape Town's favorites, Faeez, the Troublemaker Jacobs.
He's one of those guys who's got such a strong self-belief because of that background. He says if you try and achieve and you work hard at what you're doing, he's so entertaining, such a devastating, dynamic striker, tall, lanky, rangy.
In my mind, when I came into the EFC, it was first round knockouts all the way to the belt. Umbisabeko was 5-5, so he was a well-established fighter. The first couple shots landed, I said, no ways, I'm going to put this guy out there. I'm going to do this in the most exciting fashion I know how.
Put out 3 shots. Whoa! A big kick to the head. Oh! Troublemaker! That's it! Baby!
Oh my goodness!
Oh, that was a finish for the ages!
He was waiting his opportunity and boom, found it.
Unbelievable.
Look at what it means to Faeez Jacobs. Man, he is a threat to this division tonight.
I think it's insane, the journey of martial arts. Just who it's made me. Growing up, getting bullied, I was always the new kid. I never fit in. I didn't know trends. Either my pants was pulled up too high, my hair wasn't cool enough, I had acne, whatever reason kids needed to use to push me down. For a time, I hated myself. I didn't like myself. I didn't like who I was. I didn't like how I stood up for myself. I didn't like how I did jack when someone bullied me. I didn't like how soft I was. And martial arts fixed so much for me. And I found freedom in that.
Well, from Uber driver to pulverizer, it's Faeez Jacobs, the troublemaker. That's a guy that oozes confidence. Very, very young at 23 years old. Of course, he is coming off a loss to Cat Eleanor. Definitely a night he'd like to forget. But, you know, he's learning lessons every time he gets inside that hexagon. And we know that the skill set's there.
It'd be interesting to see if he has learned from that defeat, because he was coming into that with a great TKO from the second round with Untitled.
Oh, man, when he that jumping kick, are you kidding me? Faeez Jacobs, the troublemaker, looking to cause a little trouble once again inside the hex.
Madiba was awesome. Everybody had doubts about that fight. They looked at this guy that was going to be a future champion. Not on my watch. Elbows into the side of the head, shots to the side of the head. I'm looking down at him, and I land a shot from on top. I crawl around onto the back. He is drowning. He couldn't wait to get out there. He wanted out. He tapped. At that point, I realized I was going to be champion.
A lot of people out there wondering if they could live their dream. Take a look at Faeez Jacobs, and you absolutely can. There he is, the troublemaker, Faeez Jacobs. Only needed 24 hours notice to take this fight. He is literally on the doorstep of a title bout.
No matter of camps and all of this, I love it. It's just, this is how I know how to exist. If I need to move mountains, so be it. That mountain happened to be Billy Oosthuizen.
Faeez Jacobs now with the pressure and a nice elbow over the top. Billy the Kid
Another nasty elbow.
takes another one. Here comes the
taking
knees.
some punishment.
Oh,
There's a big knee to the face.
He's
down,
down on
he's
his feet. Faeez Jacobs on 24 hours notice. He wants that title shot. Let's make this thing official.
Faeez Jacobs is going to get the title shot against Nkazimolo Zulu.
I always wanted the Zulu fight, and I figured we'd meet somewhere down the line. It was just a matter of time, and the fact that it was for the belt, everything just aligned itself perfectly. I had everything to succeed, and nothing was going to take that away from me. Everything in life that was difficult, my upbringing, the tough times had prepared me for being a champion. That everything made sense. My life made more sense to me in that moment.
An amazing night here in Pretoria because the title is on the line. Bantamweight Championship. And here comes the man with a dream, Faeez Jacobs. Truly the troublemaker in the bantamweight division. Can he take out Nkazimolo Zulu, one of the best, accurate, dangerous, nastiest strikers we've ever seen? Whoa, mama! Nice right hand.
I ran into some adversity in that fight. In the very first round, Zulu took me down. the top of my foot was face down, and I was put down with my weight and Zulu's weight on top of my foot, and I felt something snap.
How is Zulu Boy recovering from that? Oh, he's twisting it into a very nasty angle.
There's a tendon in the side of my foot. I sat in the corner, I said, I think my foot is broken. They said to me, can you walk? I said, I can walk. I said, okay, let's do this. I said, let's win the belt.
Oh, was it a great right? He landed over. Zulu Boy, he's so double. Explosiveness. Right. Oh, it's a big knees coming in now. He's covering up. He's in trouble. But he's just trying to finish.
Oh, how close was that? How close was that?
Talk about having a chin.
Happened. Faeez looking for a takedown of his own, and he gets it. It comes down to the 5th and final round. Ooh, and there's that side kick. Oh, that thing's nasty. What a gorgeous takedown attempt.
Well, nasty elbow from Faeez. It's connected, but Zulu seemed to stumble a bit. Faeez is finishing strong.
I fought to the best of my ability. I would have loved the finish. I believe I can get the finish. I believe I can finish that fight. I did not enjoy going to the judges. I did not. But the moment in itself was bigger than that. And I celebrated that.
Judge Ferrier scores this bout 48-47 for your winner by split decision and new EFC Bantamweight champion, Faeez the Troublemaker Jacobs!
It was huge for me, it was huge for my people, it was huge for the area that I came from, it was huge for proving that it can be done. There's never been a pro MMA athlete in the Cape Flats, let alone a champion. I'm literally paving the way through a gravel road. I am clawing and scratching and pawing my way all the way to the top. And I want to do so, and I want to leave a roadmap behind me so that those that come after me can follow, so that they can know that it's possible. There is a way out and there's a way up. It can be done. I felt undying support from my people. That moment means to them. That kid that they watched with the snotty nose playing up and down the street, he's the one representing us on a global stage. With my next fight, I'm gonna show why I belong at the top. And through everything that I've been through, you're gonna see why I deserve to stay there.
And he just put himself in a bad position. You do not want Chipfumbu
back
under the chin.
He's got the hooks in.
Deep.
Has he got it cranking on it?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's
absolutely
in deep. Oh, it's a difficult place for Tumusang Madiba. It is in so deep.
There it is. The tap out. Welcome back, Sylvester Chipfumbu.
Oh,
he is
gladiator.
back, and he is going to be a problem in that bantamweight division.
I used to play soccer. I feel like I could have gone somewhere, but most of my friends in my hood used to train karate. I didn't have anyone to play soccer with or hang out with, because when I wanted to play soccer, everyone went to the dojo. One of my friends invited me for one session. One thing led to another. When I moved to Cape Town, joined an MMA gym. I was just training for fun, actually. My coach back then, Anthony Keto, he just said to me, you look like you have the talent, just try and see how it goes. And won most of my fights, became Cape Fight League champion, signed with the EFC, and here we are. I'm about to become a champion. My first fight at EFC against de Klerk, it's actually crazy because I was scheduled to defend my amateur title in Cape Fight League. And then again, Anthony Keto, my former coach, he just said to me, why don't you do a pro license? EFC is coming to Cape Town soon, you might get a fight. Me and my friends are checking out Peter de Klerk on YouTube. This massive guy. I was like, what the hell am I getting myself into? Like with any other fight, I always feel nervous, and I feel like the nerves are good for me. If I'm not nervous, then there's something wrong, you know?
You ready? Fight!
Bobby Karajanidis gets us started. Round number one. Not wasting any time. These boys are thrown for the fences.
Solid timing. De Klerk might be in trouble
hand.
here. Chipfumbu's landing some big shots. De Klerk is covering up. Bobby Karajanidis is going to step in, stops the fight.
He stops the fight. The Gladiator. Win number one in his professional career, and right here under the lights.
I think after I won that fight, you know, like you can see, nothing is impossible, you know.
The man they call the Gladiator, Sylvester Chipfumbu. Tough fighter, 1-0, looking to make a statement and string together another win.
Ready? Ready? Fight!
The fight was a decision against Lawrence Bortes, but if you watch it again, it was like I dominated from the start to the finish, you know. It just didn't go down, but there is not a second in the fight that I was in trouble or anyone thought, wow, Lawrence might actually have something on me. So it was just him constantly getting hit and not going down. I mean, his ribs were red. I don't know if they weren't broken. And so it was just a complete annihilation of Lawrence Bortes. And yeah, he was just a tough guy, but obviously skill-wise, he wasn't there.
Sylvester Chipfumbu!
I just want to be my opponent's worst nightmare every time I come into the ring.
The undefeated youngster taking on the dangerous veteran as Sylvester Chipfumbu goes head-to-head with Abdul Hassan.
I think actually Abdul Hassan, I had the most pressure in that fight. You take a look at Abdul's resume, and he had done it all. He had fought for the title. He's a good grappler. He had, like, I mean, that dude was experienced, and he had lots of wins under his belt. He fought professional before I even knew there was MMA, and also moving up into the main card. You know, the flashlights and everything, packed arena. I knew one thing. I knew that he was just gonna try to take me down. And yeah, the first round he did take me down, but in the second round I had to finish him. And I think my wrestling was switched on much better. I defended, and then I finished him. And I think that fight, like, I knew like nothing is impossible if you put in the work. That Hassan fight, it taught me a lot.
Guys come here, they put in work, and then you go. There's no one, you know, you mind your own business, they mind their business. So I think that's the beauty of it all, is that there's no one that's trying to come into your own personal life and tell you how to live your life. As long as you do make the time to come in, you train, and we put in work. That's the most important thing, you know. We just come here, we do our work, and then we try to make each other better. I think it's you know, it's a culmination of all the work that's been put in, and obviously he had the disappointment in his last title fight. I think now he's more prepared, understands what needs to be done to become a champion.
The Zulu fight, you know, I don't want to give excuses, but no, that guy is good, he's excellent. He won the fight fair and square, but on my side also, like, there was everything wrong leading up to the fight, especially in terms of weight cut. I started cutting my weight 2.5 weeks before the fight. I'm sure when you saw me, even a lot of guys can tell you about that.
So much fun when you're watching, like I said, fighters in this division that have as much power as they do. Fight in the
takedown. Nice straight right hand by Chipfumbu.
In Carnival City, and it's going to be another takedown.
Chipfumbu lands big.
After the first round, I went and sat on the chair and said to my coach, I can't feel my body, you know. And she's like, he just said, no, just keep fighting, Sylvester. Like, yeah, you know, like when you're in a fight, you know what you have to do. Your brain is telling you what to do, but your body is just not responding. That's how I felt in that fight. You know, after that fight, I questioned myself if I really want to do it, because, like, you know, I was in hospital for almost a week. I had an operation, and, you know, I didn't know if I was gonna come back. That's when I moved to Joburg. I actually met Temba in Cape Town at the old gym, Panther. He's the one who convinced me to move here to Joburg, you know, told me like I have the potential, I can be a better man inside the ring. And when I moved here, I started training with Temba Demat, and I feel like my game has improved a lot, and it shows.
And this is the UMF shining through for Sylvester Chipfumbu. Temba Garimbo giving instructions to his fighter. You do not want Chipfumbu on your back. Under the chin.
He's got the hooks in. It is in so deep.
There it is. The tap out. Welcome back, Sylvester Chipfumbu.
You know, when you overcome that adversity, I feel like nothing will stand in your way. It's just you against you. You're against the man in the mirror.
I want whoever, whenever in the bantamweight, I'm here, and I'm here to stay. I want to be the king of the bantamweight. I am the champion without the crown. Bring it on, everyone. On the bantamweight, I'm here. If you want it, come get it.
I was considered a striker before then. And then after the Asia fight, what do you say? What am I? I'm an all-rounded fighter. So yeah, you don't know what I'm gonna bring to the table.
I'd like to thank the guys who had faith in me when I went through a rough patch, who kept supporting me. Thank you for sticking with me.
You know, one thing about Faeez, I feel like his skill, both striking and grappling, is a bit below average. Or I would say average. What he has is just, he has a heart to fight. That's it. I'm better striking. I'm better in grappling and everything. And I also have the heart. Like, I don't give a shit what he's gonna bring to the table.
I can't wait. I can't wait to go out there and remind the fans what is so exceptional about MMA, what's so extraordinary about Troublemaker. Once my dog comes out, everything's gonna change. His dog and my dog, we don't stand on the same footing.
Now it's gonna be a bull versus matador fight, man. Wherever the fight's gonna go, you know, he's gonna suffer. I just wanna make him question his career, you know. After the fight, he's gonna go home and think, is this really for me? Was I really the interim champion, or the champion as you may call it, you know?
That's adorable. Not happening in this lifetime. I'm a very unique problem. I'm a very different style. I don't know if they can really prepare him for that. So let's see what happens on the night. I want the best Sylvester yet.
In my opinion, the title is still vacant. He fought for an interim title. Yeah, you can call him champion now. It's like calling a vice president president after the president is left. When the cash deal closes, it's just gonna be me and him. I don't think anyone's gonna beat me in that division for a long time. Once I become champion, people are gonna start changing divisions, I promise you.
He offers a unique set of problems. Nothing I haven't seen before. Nothing I can't overcome. If you show an ounce of weakness, I will take that from you. By any means necessary, I'm gonna chew him up.
Bruno Mukulu is a fantastic addition to the fight card against Boyd Allen. You're looking at a guy who's an unbelievable veteran. This guy is from a very traditional background of mixed martial arts in Congo. He spearheaded very much the Congolese movement here, holding up the flag for the first time, the DRC flag at an EFC, and he's kind of been that major for all of the other Congolese athletes as they've come through. And he's also done a lot of projects where he's working with the community in Congo, in DRC. He started off his career going straight in to a fight against Dricus du Plessis, who we now know is in the UFC. He's been a consistent player in the mixed martial arts game in Africa. So now you've got Bruno Mukulu, who's fought the biggest champs, the biggest names, Dino Bagatine, Henry Fadipe, Dricus du Plessis, and he's an absolute beast. He's a big, big human being. He's really going to charge forward and take it to Boyd Allen. Boyd Allen, returning to EFC after a long layoff. He did a lot of boxing. He went 4-1 in his boxing career. He actually left on a win with the organization. We always knew that he would come back to EFC. He would always find his home back in MMA because this is where his career has been built. You know, the guy's never gonna smack talk. That's not what he's about. He's never been about that. But what he is about family. He surrounds himself with his sisters and his brother, and they've got a family-owned gym, which is an incredible space. You know, there's power versus speed. There's just this perfect clash and a perfect comeback fight for someone like Boyd, and a perfect fight for Bruno to one-up his game and go, cool, I'm here, I'm in contention.
Everyone loves Boyd. I don't think if anyone that has met Boyd has said anything bad about him. What you see is what you get. He's got really good manners, morals and ethics, and I think people see that straight away. And I think the fans, regardless of what sport he is, but definitely the mixed martial art fans are really, really excited to see the new Boyd Allen right now coming from one combat sport into his original combat sport, and to see what he has to offer.
I would like to be a hybrid athlete, and I think if I get the opportunity in different sports, then I'll compete. I want to compete, and I think it shows a lot of people that they can do more than one sport. I think Bruno's a good fighter. He is athletic, he's strong, he's physical, and he's obviously coming down from middle or welterweight.
I'm always ready, I'm always training. It's my sport. Whenever they call me, I jump in and then I fight. Anytime they can call me, anyone, I can fight. I don't like somebody to ever think in his life that I'm scared of him. No one in the world must think that I'm scared of him. I enjoy it. I don't care about what other people say, I don't care about what people think. My life is a fighter, and I want to fight, that's all. I'm dropping to lightweight, cutting weight, and then I'll be big. I don't know my opponent, how strong he's going to be, how big he's going to be, but I feel like I'll be in this time. And I'll come in this fight. Nothing expect me to give him a chance, to wait. I'm coming to fight, I'm coming to finish a fight, I'm coming to take the fight.
He will be a bigger opponent than what I'm used to. So I'm looking to put on an exciting fight, but regardless, wherever the fight goes, whether it's a striking fight, whether it's a grappling fight, a wrestling fight, I'm excited just to get back into the hex and sort of test out my skills and see if I've still got what it takes.